Hi, how are you? Welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're returning. Either way, hi, how are you? Thanks for popping in. Whether you're popping in for a minute, whether you're popping in for a little bit longer, whether you're inviting friends, whether you just found us by a great accident, somebody's share or comment. And thank you so much just for spending some time with us today. I'd love to welcome you today with a virtual toast to you, to whatever holiday you may be celebrating, to whatever win you may be celebrating, a new team member, a new family member. Maybe you're celebrating the life of a guardian angel, whatever's happening in your world. I'd love to thank you for joining us for a few minutes today. One of the things about the titles that we pick are that, Meet Me on the Moon means a lot of different things. Today, I'd love to share the title with you from the ways that we can connect, collaborate, and work together kind of to repair our fragile world. Hi, David. Welcome back to Impossible Live, and thanks for joining us. And cheers to you, too. Thank you so much. One of the things I'd love to talk to you about today, as so much is going on, and people are asking me what's happening with Impossible Live. I love it because I really appreciate the feedback. I didn't realize for some it was a place of inspiration. It was a place to just plug in and find some really amazing energy. And your energies are definitely helping me with that. So I want to thank you for those wonderful gifts. So I'd love to share a couple of things as I keep talking about ways that we can work together to brighten and lighten our fragile world. So it's a better place for all of us to live, to thrive, to flourish, to work together. And it'll take some time and it'll take some energy. So I hope you continue to join me for the journey as we're discussing energies and collaborations and trust and connections and how to build relationships. But when I was a kid, and you'll see it from the picture of the graphic. So thank you to my amazing, amazing team. So Carla Sellers pulled that picture out of another video that I did. And then Eve Voyaveda, another amazing team member. Eve then, and you'll laugh as Mel with braids, they're kind of boogieing today. It might be because it's a full moon and the moon energy. My braids want to play too. But you'll see a picture of me as a kid, and it's a picture of Mel with braids. And it's funny as we go full circle in life and we find ourselves maybe returning to some happier, brighter moments as kids or as we approach memories. So, one of the memories I love was my Uncle D, as I call him, who would always take us out as kids and teach us about the stars. It was a way to keep us busy. It was in the day when everybody didn't have a television or a mobile device to just dig into to entertain kids. So he would entertain us with imaginations, and we'd either go out on the back of Nana's deck, or when I visited Uncle D and Aunt Fee and my cousins, he would take us outside and teach us about the stars. He really fed a love of astronomy, and I'll laugh because my brother's favorite place became the planetarium. It's probably because Uncle D. And then Pop would take us outside to look at the stars and teach us on the nights when there weren't stars how to smell snow as a kid. The snow was coming. And I'm laughing about this because over the recent weekend, the recent holiday weekend, the Thanksgiving weekend, we saw snow. And I'm laughing because there's no accident about some of the titles that we're picking. So today's Meet Me on the Moon is inspired by a wonderful song by Phyllis Hyman, somebody I adored, but I had a chance at an Aruba Jazz Festival to watch Michael Franks kick off the festival. and Phyllis Hyman sang Meet Me on the Moon during a lunar eclipse. Now, this beautiful moon, I want to thank the lovely Lisa and Danielle from Two Sparrows Homestead for saving for me and for helping me discover another beautiful business. It reminded me of Martin Stark's comment when Martin's talking about the moon and how it can help us magnetize our powers and magnetize its pull if we tap into it as entrepreneurs or as creators or coaches or just humans. And if it's something that I'm remembering decades later, family members teaching us to delight in the moon, almost as if it was our friend. I remember in a joke as a kids, the bear trap uh, pajamas with a child hanging off of the moon. So if we could use it just from the perspective of connecting, of collaborating, of helping magnetize our energy so we're really able to work together. And in the hope of that, love to share two small parts of Phyllis Hyman's song with you. So, for assorted reasons, and you don't want me to sing karaoke. So, when we meet at a live event, please do not ask me. I adore you, and we're going to save your ears. But Phyllis's song, Meet Me on the Moon, starts with Meet me on the moon, soon as you can, in the middle of the sky. And it leads into a song of love about music and its triumphs and symphonies. But at the end, it ends and it concludes with, That's what I need. So my spirit can be free. Come on, meet me on the moon. Meet me, meet me. And that would be my invitation today. If we in our diverse communities, in our little mini cultures, in our, as Yvette Bethel of organizational soul has helped me realize as a trust ambassador, if we could galvanize our communities by working on the ecosystem to kind of really brighten it up and lighten it up, that would be a way that we could really work together to make it a lighter, brighter world. I appreciate those of you who are reaching out lately in responses to what's happening in our world to reconnect. I had a couple of weeks where amazing entrepreneurs and collaborators are just reaching out and saying, Hey, how are you doing? I appreciate it because we need to hear each other and see each other and feel each other. And if the ground that we're working on, the ground that we're walking on, the ground that our children, our nephews, and our nieces, our godchildren, our grandchildren, and others' children are walking on isn't necessarily higher ground. It necessarily isn't shaky ground. Maybe from the mental fitness perspective or the emotional intelligence perspective. Maybe we could take a step to work together to kind of create that. I love days like today because other than David popping in, it can be a quiet day when recording a live stream. So your engagement in between our live sessions and during our live sessions and during replays when you pop in is so important. I really appreciate you from that perspective. The Meet Me on the Moon, I hope, is more than just the childhood dream of a girl from the Bronx whose family members would teach me to look at the stars and make wishes on them. That if we could live in that world with a little bit of peace or the space to explore in a safer space, that might be something that we could do if we met on the moon. We'll talk about space travel and galaxies and I'm from a family where we're always saying to each other, may the force be with you. But I really hope that on days like today, when there is a full moon, that we kind of channel that energy. I've learned as an entrepreneur and kind of from digging in a little bit to my more spiritual side and starting to share that more, that faith walk, that there's something about these what's happening between for me, I'll give you a good example. Between the new moon and the full moon, there's like an incredible energy. And in one of our recent sessions, we talked about, can you feel it? Can you feel the change in the vibe? I'm learning to really tap into it. Time of creativity, time of exploration, time of creation, time to reach out to family members and friends I haven't spoken to in a while, and really to kind of check in. And I'm honored to have a chance to share that with you today because I normally wouldn't say it out loud. So the lovely ladies, Lisa and Danielle from Two Sparrows Homestead, they laughed because the minute I saw this on Instagram, I was like, I have to have this moon. And I have to have this moon because it guides some steps. Here's something else. I know we're doing show and tell, and Mel doesn't usually do this. This is a box I picked up at Crystal Connections, if you're local to the Hudson Valley in New York. And I saw it on my first trip, but I didn't pick it up. My first trip, I picked up another crystal. But this one here, I had to pick up on my second visit. And the gentleman I spoke to about it, he's like, that calls to you? You like that? Like, I have a feeling the box had been there for a while. And it wasn't quite in a corner, but no one else really had picked it up and looked at it. And I ended up looking it up and I couldn't find it in like a book of stones or a book of crystals. And I asked friends about it. So those of you who are into energy healing and you can help me with some more origins about Moonstone, I would love that. I wasn't surprised later when he told me this was Moonstone. And I love this box and I treasure it. And you'll laugh now. New car is called Moonstone. So honestly, I'm really taking the meet me on the moon seriously. And I'd love to invite you to invite others to meet us on the moon. Phyllis Hyman singing on such a clear, beautiful night. In the tropics, amazing breezes. We had had 4 or 5 hours of amazing music. And here, as that moon is reaching kind of a peak of our sight, she sang this song, and I loved the song before, and I'm a Phyllis Hyman fan from way back, but I started crying without realizing it. She really shook me to my core. I really felt the vibes of it, the gift of it, the space of it. If it's something that I could share with you, to give it as a gift, as if we're handing it off, or if we're sitting face to face. If I could give you that gift, I'd love to leave you with that. And one of the things that's really challenging sometimes in our world is acknowledging changes in energy. I'm learning because of positive intelligence and learning about sustainable energy last year. And I thank Nathan Blaha, always from PQ, for helping me locate it with an I am statement that I talk about on my YouTube channel while Mel is wearing these braids. We never show that core, maybe, of what some think is oversharing. Others may think you're vulnerable. Others may think of as transparency. We don't usually share it in professional settings in a way that Maybe it means we're fearful of respect, of not really being heard, not really being understood. It's one of the reasons I love inviting you in for Impossible Live and to explore Ignite Trust. I hope it helps you always feel safe and remember that you're heard, you're seen, you're valued, you're appreciated. And when we don't always feel that, it's a reminder, check in with someone we trust who loves us. So, on that note, I want to thank you today for popping in and for joining me for Meet Me on the Moon. You're going to find our spiritual conversations are about to continue with some amazing guests over the next couple of weeks and throughout the new year. And I'm not a resolutions girl, I'm a priorities girl. But I'm happy to share upcoming holiday themes with you. And we're going to continue the theme of collaborations. We're going to continue the theme of reflections. We're going to continue the themes of energies and of trust. And I hope that for you, that it brings you some, David, thank you so much, that it brings you some energy, some peace, some reminder. And if it hadn't been for positive intelligence, and if it hadn't been for discovering trust, I don't think I would have located this energy source quite as quickly. I have an amazing intuitive success coach who you had a chance to see a couple of weeks ago on using our soul languages. And Cheryl really helped me tap into it. But if I can help you pass that from the positive intelligence, that piece of sustainable energy, of locating a way to find some really positive fuel to help you keep going, to help you keep taking steps. There's lots of positive intelligence coaches around. I'm one. I can recommend a bunch. David Arayo, Angie Alexander, Phil Gilks, Chiquita, Darnell Proctor, who was one of our guests, and you've seen them in my Be Visible Villages. You've seen them and met them in our comments. Reach out for some support and reach out to someone who really inspires you to meet them on the moon. Invite someone to join you in what feels like another galaxy. It can sometimes feel real woo woo, and sometimes that's really needed. We just had a really peaceful Thanksgiving, very complex, but peaceful. And complex as I called someone I love to wish them a happy Thanksgiving. And they let me know that this would be their last Thanksgiving. And that doctors had just let them know that. You don't know sometimes who needs the energy, who needs the call. And they asked me, somebody I love, how'd you know I was in such a dark place? We can feel it. We have a choice of whether we acknowledge it or not, or whether we reach out to somebody else. But reach out to somebody like Lachelle Atkins, who can help you with mental rocks of support. Reach out to some of our other really talented guests, members of your community, if you're not sure. Granted, we're not mental health professionals, but if you're looking for a surge, something to help lift you up, something to help inspire you to kind of go to the place where you can meet us on the moon in the middle of the sky, as Phyllis would say, Phyllis Hyman would say, as soon as you can. And this is for you. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired. Please stay in touch and take great care. And I hope you have a magnificent day filled with opportunities and possibilities and smiles across the miles. Peace be with you. Stay safe.